Okay, people. So, I've been kind of looking out for this film, right? Mother Android. So finally dropped. Hulu in the States, Netflix internationally. And I am always intrigued by, the Android uprising kind of thing, right? Because look, we've seen it done extremely well in Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, and then we've seen it done not so well. I mean, in like Terminator Salvation, Terminator Genesis, oof, and other films, right? So, how is this one going to go? Now, it's written and directed by Mattson Tomlin, right? It's his directorial debut, but people, he did write Project Power, right? Project Power, which was a really good Netflix film that dropped last year. Oh, not last year, in 2020. I just remember it's 2022, right? Yeah, Project Power was, I do believe it was 2020, right? It came out, I feel June, kind of early-ish lockdown kind of thing. Um, so yeah, like we've seen he can write a good film, an enjoyable film, you know what I mean? But what's he gonna be like behind the camera? It's produced by Matt Reeves, who, as you know, people, he did a couple of the Planet of the Apes films, Cloverfield, and he's directing The Batman, right? Bill Block, who's also executive produced some big stuff. We got Tomlin is also producing along with Rafi Crowan, Adam Kassan, and Charles Miller. Cinematography is handled by Patrick Scola. It's edited by Andrew Groves. Music is from Kevin Henfrom and Michelle Bushki. And our cast. Well, we have Chloë Grace Moretz as Georgia, or G. Ugh. And then later on, Squirrel. Just, oh, atrocious. Atrocious. We have her boyfriend Sam, played by Algee Smith. There's Arthur, played by R.U.R Castillo. Sarah, played by Lena Gardner. Lisa, who's played by Kira Pichardo. Oscar Wahlberg plays Derek. Christian Mallon plays Kevin. Connor is played by Jared Renfelt. And Daniel is played by Liam McNeil. Ellie is played by Stephen Fawn. Mr. Olsen, George's dad, is played by John F. Mears. His wife, Mrs. Olsen, is played by Tamara Hickey. Jason Bowen plays a lieutenant in the Boston Army. Hannah Kim is a Korean official. Ben Zaval is a patrol officer. William Lyman is a captain. Owen Burke is Officer Norton. And Kate Avalon is Dr. Howe. Okay, so the gist of this film is this. On Christmas Eve, Georgia Olsen finds out that she is pregnant with her boyfriend Sam's child. The new revelations disturb Georgia's peace as she doesn't want to become a mother at this age. Because, I think 18, right? 17, 18. I think they're just leaving school kind of age, right? Um, yeah, Sam tries to console Georgia and asks her to marry him, but she is unsure about the relationship. Georgia decides to hide the secret from her parents. In a hurry, she leaves behind her phone in the bathroom and walks out of the house to attend a college Christmas party. An android, Eli, owned by the Olsons, wishes Sam happy Halloween instead of Christmas at the door, signaling the arrival of impending horror. At the Christmas party, the members witness a loud, shrill screech similar to a technical glitch, and soon after, an android named Daniel turns violent. Daniel attacks Georgia and Sam, and they run away from the house. Due to the glitch, smartphones start exploding, killing their users. On the streets, Georgia and Sam witness the doom. 9 months later, Georgia, expecting her baby, has taken shelter in the forest with Sam. The couple are trying to get to a fortified Boston. They have heard rumors about a boat that is transporting new mothers to Asia where they can find a peaceful life. But to reach Boston, Georgia and Sam have to cross a no man's land filled with deadly androids. So, this it is an intriguing film. It's an intriguing film. It does do that irritating thing though of start at a point that we know certain information, right? And then we go back. It's like how do you leave someone behind? Truly leave someone behind. And we see Georgia in front of a fire holding a photo. Right. So we see that, which man, it's a little irritating because it gives you a clue of something. So then throughout the film, you're wondering at what point, right, does maybe something happen, you know? And I just think they could have made that very intro a little bit more ambiguous, you know? Like if they had her in front of the fire going, something like what happens if life doesn't go the way you expect? How do you pick up the pieces? How do you move forward? Like something like that, I think would have worked maybe a little bit better. But we then jump to them in the bathroom, and she's done a several few pregnancy tests, and it's not good, right? And yes, see the it's not the best of situations, right? There is a weirdness between the two, right? There's a friction, and yeah, Georgia says shit. She says, like, Georgia is a bit of a cunt. You know what I mean? But that's not a bad thing, right? I think when you know what I mean, you consider their age, it's a little understandable, right? That the consequences of being a mother. It's a little, it could close down doors, right? Now, depending on the level of support and finances, yeah, you can still do certain things, but it's all very dependent on, and then also your time isn't really your time anymore. You know what I mean? So there's so much. So yeah, I feel you can definitely understand, especially when shit ain't planned. You know what I mean? And you're just trying to figure out fucking life at that age. You know what I mean? Hey, I know people a lot older who's still trying to figure out life. You feel me? So I think, as I said, look, yeah, she's a bit of a cunt, but yeah, that's good. It's good, and it does make it more realistic, right? I think we also see Sam's character at this in this beginning. He's trying to console her, but then when they're out of the bathroom with the parents and even at the party, right? A lot like other people are just like, Robot, get my jumper, get my thing. But you see, notice Sam, he uses the names, right? Where other people aren't. He's like, Eli, could you do this for me? Or Daniel, could I have, you know what I mean? And he's not just, slave, do this for me, right? Which you see a lot of people have that sort of attitude, you know what I mean? Which, yeah, if you're treating people like that, you can kind of understand an uprising. You know what I mean? It's not like we've not seen it before. People need to understand. Hey, you treat slaves like slaves, slaves gonna revolt. You know what I mean? Hey, if you have the robots and you're treating them well, right? You're paying them, or you know what I mean? Boom, you've got an equal kind of situation. But yeah, it's never a good sign. But yeah, so we see Sam, right? Who Sam is in these interactions. And yeah, as mentioned, right, there's this loud screech. And everyone's a bit like, oh, what the fuck's going on? And then suddenly we hear screams, right? The fact that some of the people weren't a bit like, oh no, with the screech, because it's not like we've not seen it in films, right? But even if you haven't, for a noise like that to go over everyone's phone kind of means something is awry, right? But yeah, the robots are going crazy. And then, yeah, the phones explode. And I was like, you know what? That is fucking genius. Because, firstly, I imagine the screech is a kill switch signal, right? To trigger the androids. You know what I mean? So that was smart, right? Because everyone's got a smartphone. So, hey, it's a smart delivery mechanism. And then to explode the phones, again, everyone's got phone. That's genius, man. Genius. And especially because you imagine some people, boom, phone to the ear. You're like, hey, trying to get through, trying to make calls. So yeah, boom, headshot, son. And I don't believe I've seen that in another film. So I thought that was very smart. Very smart. So yeah, we have them in the woods. We have them in the woods, and yeah, it's 9 months later. Um, we see they're still together, right? And yeah, Georgia is very much, whew, due to bust, due to bust. So we have all of this going down, right? And they're trying to work out what to do, what I mean, the plans, and they talk about this initiative. But still, Georgia's saying certain things, you know what I mean? Saying for just being a bit of an arse, bit of an arse. Um, but that's good, right? Because we see them together, which you think, yeah, when the world's falling apart, you don't want to just go off on your own. So that makes sense. But for them just to be fully in love and just all of it, you just be like, but from where they were to there, no, man. So it was good to see there was still a little up in there. You feel me? But yeah, so we're seeing them trying to work things out, right? They go to a camp, um, which issues, there is issues. Now, there is an incident that happens in the camp, right? it is a bit weird that we don't get anyone saying, well, this happened, right? That was a bit weird, because why would you keep quiet? You know what I mean? So that was a little odd, but they leave there, and there's problems, and we see them again trying to figure things out, you know. Now when they try and do this thing, you think, all right, I mean, I get the thinking. I get the thinking. But they then just, man, they doodle too much. Dwindle. Linger. That's what, yeah, linger. They linger a little too long somewhere. Not good. And then they're attacked. Right? Now, everything that comes from this, it's interesting, right? Because I think you watch what plays out in a certain way, and you're thinking, all right, it's feasible, but you do have questions. You know what I mean? You definitely have questions. But then, things go down, right? And it's you just look at it and you think, I mean, it's not likely. It's not likely. We do get a bit of a Deuce Machina situation, which you wonder what changed. What changed, homie? Right? But again, no, no asking. But I mean, I guess time and everything with this incident. But from there, ooh, yeah, we do get thrown. We do get thrown a little something, which I liked it. Right? It reminded me of an episode of, I I feel it was the Outer Limits, right? And it was about aliens attacking the Earth. And they'd captured some humans, and they were on a ship getting interrogated, and every day they take someone and bring them back, and they've done shit to the person, and one day they throw someone else in there, and yeah, they're torturing, they keep on taking this person, and it looks like they're trying to turn them into one of them. And the person's like, I just wish I knew we could get some revenge. And oh man, at this moment, like, certain things get said, and the reveal is crazy. And I thought that was awesome. And yeah, this kind of goes like that. And it's great. It's a great little reveal. Now, like, the end plays out in a certain way, right? Which I think it does, like, it makes sense for their situation, you know what I mean? So that, boom, I'm fine with that. The only problem I have, right, because they believe that, Korea is taking people. My thing is this, right? Where are a lot of the electronics made? Like Sony, you're a Nintendo, right? Samsung, Toshiba, they're all based in Asia. So, with all, I mean, these tech-based cities and all of that, you telling me there's no fucking androids? You know what I mean? That I'm a little baffled by, right? Because I'm just a bit like, like, now, I'd have said, you know what I mean, maybe more third world countries that don't have the same financial, what I mean, infrastructure. So they're not so tech based. So maybe they didn't have a crazy heap of androids. I'd be thinking that. That would make a little bit more sense to me. But you know, what I mean, it is what it is. Now, we then the very ending of the film, though, it's cold. It is cold, man. But it makes sense. It makes sense when you remember you know what I mean, the situations from the beginning, like, and all of that. And I liked it. I liked it, right? Because you're just like, of course that would happen, especially after what we've just seen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a little cold. I mean, it's more than a little cold. It's cold as fuck. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I thought that was a very good way to end this film, right? Because I don't think it works any other way, you know? And watching this couple and the way they interact and are and all of that, yeah, I like that kind of thing because look, we've seen things like the quiet space, the quiet space, quiet place. I think that's what it's called. I feel that's what it's called, the quiet place. But right? Um, and they're a loving couple, right? And that's fine. But not everyone's a completely loving, you know what I mean, caring couple. So it was good to see this reality. Now, it does then mean the film is a little colder, right? Coarser. So, you don't necessarily completely gel with it all, right? But I think it's very logical in everything we see, and yeah, it makes sense. So I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. Now I wouldn't say I loved it, but I did enjoy it. You know what I mean? So, hey, if you like Android apocalyptic films, you know what I mean? Bleak dystopian futures, then Mother Android, I think it would be for you. And you know what I mean? I will say, I will say that yeah, it was decent direction, man. Like we had some very good performances, you know, and Tomlin showed he can, do his thing. He can handle a film. You know what I mean? So, yeah, people, Mother Android. It is now out. Hulu in the States, Netflix international.